The neon sign flickers weakly against the night sky as you roll to a stop in the gravel parking lot of the Highway Motel. The place feels suspended in time, with only one other vehicle in sight, a weather-beaten sedan that looks like it hasn't moved in years. Inside room 107, the last remaining guest lingers, not for company, but for something far more intangible. The clerk slides a key across the counter without a word, his eyes holding a quiet understanding of the weight this place carries. The room welcomes you with the scent of stale smoke and memories long past their expiration date. A photograph peeks out from beneath a worn Bible on the nightstand. A family frozen in a moment of joy, now just echoes in an empty room. The television murmurs static, the only signal it can catch, playing sermons from a preacher who speaks to no one. Somewhere down the hall, a floorboard groans under footsteps that don't belong to anyone visible. You're drawn to the window, where the curtains part just enough to reveal the last guest standing beneath the flickering sign, gazing at the deserted highway as if expecting a ride that vanished years ago. By dawn, the sedan is gone, the room stripped of all traces, except for that photograph, now placed deliberately at the center of the dresser. The clerk accepts your returned key with a nod, his silence more telling than any words could be. Some mysteries aren't meant to be unraveled, only observed. As you drive away, the motel fades into the distance, another forgotten landmark swallowed by the endless road. The story lingers, though, not in answers, but in the quiet spaces between them. The Highway Motel doesn't offer resolutions, it holds onto them, keeping them locked in its peeling wallpaper and creaking floorboards. You wonder about the last guest, who they were waiting for, why they left the photograph behind. The clues are there, scattered like roadside debris, but piecing them together feels like trespassing on a grief that isn't yours. The motel stands as a monument to the stories that never found their endings, the kind that slip through the cracks of time. And as the miles stretch behind you, you realize some places aren't just stops along the way. They're the final resting places for secrets too heavy to carry any further. The photograph left behind wasn't an accident, it was a plea, a silent cry for someone to remember what was lost. The motel's walls hold more than dust, they cradle the weight of lives that passed through, leaving only fragments behind. You'll never know the full story, and maybe that's the point. Some truths are meant to stay buried, not out of malice, but because they belong to the people who lived them. The Highway Motel doesn't give answers, it simply bears witness, a silent keeper of the unresolved. And as the road stretches ahead, you carry a piece of it with you, a reminder that not all journeys have clean endings. Sometimes, the most haunting stories are the ones left untold. You'd think the loneliest place on Earth would be somewhere vast and empty, a desert, maybe, or the middle of the ocean. But you'd be wrong. The loneliest place is a highway motel at 3 a.m., where the hum of the neon sign is the only proof that time hasn't stopped. This is where our story begins, with a traveler, a key to room 12, and a mystery that unravels in the silence between words. Welcome to The Last Guest at the Highway Motel, a silent goodbye. Most people believe abandoned places are just empty shells, devoid of life or meaning. But the truth? They're time capsules, holding on to stories long after the people have left. And tonight, one man is about to discover that firsthand. The traveler, let's call him Daniel, pulls into the parking lot of the Sunset Motel, a relic of the 1960s with flickering lights and a vacancy sign that's seen better days. The clerk, an old man with tired eyes, slides a key across the counter without a word. Room 12, at the far end. Daniel doesn't ask why it's the only room with a light on. He should have, because this isn't just a stop for the night. It's the beginning of an encounter with the last guest, a woman named Clara, who's been waiting for someone. Or something. And as Daniel will soon learn, some goodbyes are too heavy to say out loud. Segment 1 ends with Daniel stepping into room 12, unaware that the real story isn't about who's staying here, it's about who never left. The motel isn't just a place. It's a witness, and it's been keeping secrets